Gentle lady from California, Ms. Porter, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mason, I wanted to talk to you about policies that harm women, specifically that hurt single mothers. The American Rescue Plan expands the child tax credit, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And how much does it increase the credit by?
It increases the credit by $3,600 for children under the age of 6, and $3,000 for other ages.
Yes, and it would lift about 4.1 million children above the poverty line, cutting the number of children in poverty by more than 40%. That's a conservative estimate. Is that right?
That is right.
But the tax credit, the child tax credit, has two different income cutoffs, right? One for married couples and one for heads of household.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And who typically files as heads of household? How do single parents of young children typically file? What is their tax status?
Single mothers, heads of single mothers are more likely to file as heads of households.
Heads of household. But
yes.
Heads of household have a different cutoff for the child tax credit than married couples who have
yes.
children.
That's right.
So I want to break this down. A single parent making more than $112,500 a year starts to lose the child tax credit, whereas a child and a married couple doesn't start to lose that credit until their combined income is more than $150,000. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So to quote a law review article, Beyond Head of Household, Rethinking the Taxation of Single Parents, this discrepancy, quote, this discrepancy means that unmarried parents with income with the same income receive a smaller credit per child than do married parents with income in the same range. Is the cost of food for the single parent's child any less? Do children in single parent families eat less?
No.
How about the cost of school supplies, uniforms, books? Is there a discount for single parents?
No, I wish there was, in fact.
Me too. And most importantly, would the cost of childcare be any less for the child of the single parent?
No, in fact, it consumes more of single parents' income.
Because they don't have anybody else to take care of the child. If they were to work, they need to have childcare that covers the full hours that they're working. So, and yet the tax credit treats that family differently. I like to call this the single parent penalty, but it's really the child in a single parent household penalty. The person hurt here is the child. And because we penalize single parents, we penalize their children. I think this is an outdated, backward policy that needs to change. Dr. Mason, one final question. Would fixing this penalty, bringing these two different kinds of families, both with children and the costs of raising a child born equally among them, would it help women and children? Would it help bring women into the workforce? How would it help support our economic recovery if it would?
So first of all, there's no reason for this discrepancy in terms of phasing out for single parents. And it would definitely go a long way towards helping us to rebuild our economy, supporting those women who have been most disproportionately impacted in this moment, women who are primary wage earners in their families. It would definitely help to bring more women back into the workforce. And I have to point out that this is direct money into the pockets of working women and families. And what we have to know is since 1996, the social safety net has all but disappeared, and less than 3% of families receive any kind of cash assistance. So this is a moment where we can't afford to be making these arbitrary cuts and decisions about who should be receiving support and care.
Absolutely, I agree. I think the time to get rid of this differential treatment for children, depending on what kind of family they live in, is long overdue. The result here is we're penalizing children rather than helping children in all families equally. So I strongly support removing the single parent penalty and making sure that we're helping every single child get that benefit. You know, it's interesting, Dr. Mason, I have asked the Ways and Means Committee, I've asked the Joint Committee on Taxation, I've asked on the Senate Finance side, I've had, someone put this question to Jared Bernstein at the Council of Economic Advisors, and not one person has been able to give me a justification or why we discriminate against children in single-family households this way. And I think it starts for me to be reminiscent of longstanding efforts in the tax policy to control families and define what is a good and worthy family. With that, I yield back.